probably spend most of my time in Jakarta, less in Bali and a good chunk in Perth.
And how is training there? Is it okay?
In Jakarta?
Yeah.
You know, it's better than you think it would be in a big city. It's actually surprisingly bike friendly, mainly because the cars just don't move. So it's easy to get a bike, yeah. And it might be the same in other places in Southeast Asia, but with a bike people are looking for you. They're used to seeing different moving speeds and people in carts and all sorts of things. So people are actually looking out for you, and also it's easy to navigate between the cracks. So training in Jakarta is not bad. You don't want to run in the places that are more polluted, but endurance and fitness has just exploded in Indonesia in the last 7 years or so. And so there's tons of running groups, and you can always travel to the outskirts of the city. Jakarta is ringed by mountains, so there's a very strong trail running community, and it's beautiful there. So it's actually not as difficult. Okay, well, I was teaching at University of Southern California back in the early 2000s, and a student of mine asked me for a donation to a charity marathon that she was doing. And I was like, oh sure, I'll give money. And she was like, you should do it too. Now, at the time, I weighed maybe 130 kilos. I was a chain smoker. I was a mess, right? So, but she said it and I couldn't get the idea out of my head. I just thought, oh, you should do it too. It was like she didn't see the outside. She saw something inside where anyone could do it. So I showed up to a meeting for this charity marathon, and there were people of all sizes and shapes and ages, everything. And some of them had already done it. And I got hooked. So I got an email for a $30 triathlon. And I didn't know anything about triathlon, but I knew $30 was really cheap. So I was like, oh, I'll sign up for it, why not? Didn't have a bike, didn't really know how to ride a bike. But yeah, that triathlon turned out to be a benefit for the Challenged Athletes Foundation. So my first triathlon, I saw people in hand cycles, I saw blind athletes, I saw paraplegics, every kind of disability, and everyone was out there doing it too. And so that's how I also got hooked into triathlon. It was that idea of participation and of anyone can really step up and do this and take part. There's a few factors. I mean, the two triathletes way back when were me, and I had just freshly moved back from the US. And Richard Sambera, who is a national sports hero, Olympic swimmer, and a very good one. He made semifinals several times, so really world class. So, I mean, the fact that Richard was doing it was a good draw. And in Indonesia also, it coincided with a huge boom in the middle class. And so there was a large number of people who had more time and resources and wanted to be healthy. And they saw through our group, I think, that it was that idea of anyone can do it. Anyone can come walk the 5K if you can't run. Just do a fun run, bring your kids. Another part of what really inspired triathlon and brought people in was that another top national swimmer, Andy Wibowo, decided to take up triathlon. He came to a triathlon seminar that Andreas Kansil and I put on, and he decided that he would give triathlon a try. And Andy has just skyrocketed in the ranks, and he very often outright wins triathlons. I mean, he's outstanding elite level. Coming up, we have Oscar Ferianto, who trains all by himself in Bintan, and really comes from very, very humble beginnings, but he too is skyrocketing in the podium finishes, you know, overall wins. These guys are world-class triathletes, absolutely. I mean, regionally and world, and we're really hoping, we've got big dreams for them in the Asian Games that will be hosted in Indonesia in 2018. So I definitely want to pull as many women as I can. We have two very promising younger Indonesian females who are coming up. What they probably really need now is more international experience at races. Ride like hell when there's a tailwind. Keep my head down and arrow when there's a headwind. Just pace evenly and go as far as I can. The other thing about races too is that I also coach, and am very involved with the Indonesian endurance and particularly multi-sport community. So I really want to get a feel for the races, make connections with people, do whatever I can to facilitate Indonesians taking part and coming to races. If I'm talking to people who want to step up to longer distances, that's, by the way, most of the people in Indonesia, is that they're just starting to move up to the longer distances. Two pieces of advice. One, consistency. It's more important to train often than to train hard or even long. It's better to run and or bike, swim a little bit every day than it is to say, you know, try to cram everything into 3 sessions or 4 sessions. The most important thing is just consistency, day in, day out. The second piece of advice is enjoy the day. It's just, you know, an event is just one tiny little point in a long, long training series. And anything can happen on race day. So really just enjoy the day and whatever training you have planned. I'm gonna have to say that the Sungai Liat triathlon on Bangka Island in Indonesia, in my opinion, is probably the best destination try, if not one of the best triathlons in the world. It is incredible.
And why is that?
Part of it is the island of Bangka. It's quite unique, even in Indonesia. It's extremely culturally diverse, and by that I don't mean a Muslim pocket here and a Christian pocket here and a Chinese pocket here. Everybody's mixed together.